Welcome back to another episode of Engineering Money, the podcast where some full-time engineers give their 2 cents on the financial news of the week and just try to survive. My name is Ben, a civil engineer in Washington State.
My name's Tim. I'm a mechanical engineer in Milwaukee. Okay, go, Joe.
My name's Joey, food products engineer in Minneapolis, and boy, have we been trying to survive this week.
Oh, and we've got a guest here. This is Greg.
Greg, introduce
I
yourself.
thought his name was Gorb.
I can't introduce myself until Tim gives me the mic. But my name's Greg. I'm a civil engineer in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Very nice.
There's also Milwaukee in Washington State or Oregon.
But not that one.
But not that one.
Okay.
Tim, tell Greg about our sponsorship.
Oh, I was going to bring that up randomly
Oh,
later,
okay.
man.
It's supposed to be a surprise.
Okay,
bet.
okay.
Yeah. Get that out of here.
Catch 'em off
Yeah,
guard.
I'll leave that as a little teaser.
Okay.
Okay, so we had a really boring week in the market. Nothing happened.
Absolutely flat.
Always
news.
jokes with this one.
Well, Joey and I were talking about it earlier, and it was interesting.
market?
Yeah, and at the
That
beginning
one.
of the week, it was like, oh, well, this is just every other day Wall Street bets stuff going on. Nothing new here.
Well, because sometimes they'll be crazy about Tesla or whatever, and we might comment on it, but we try not to do that every week. So it was like, okay, maybe this isn't news.
But this week, it's a little unavoidable.
It's a little bit different circumstances.
So,
And then, well, yeah, like Friday, one of my friends texted me about it. And he was like, hey, guys, GameStop is going up. I might invest. And I was like, no, don't do that. But then, because it's not a good investment long term at all. But it's not about the money at this point.
No,
it's about the
movement.
gamble.
It's a movement. No, it's not about a
No,
gamble,
it's
Ben.
about sticking it to the man.
Yeah,
For me, it's about the money.
it's about taking down Melvin Capital.
That's
Ben,
true.
and Citron.
I will say, at first, and I still think, that this is peak
Big
dumb. This level of
Peak dumb.
speculation in market, like it's poised for
But Ben,
probably a big fall here. Like the
But
whole
it's
market.
That's
not
not what it's
speculation, though. If it's not speculation,
Yeah, because we know it's going to happen.
But
we know the stock is only valued at like $20
Yeah.
a share.
Are we supposed to say this is all financial
but when
advice?
things like this happen,
this is not.
they usually precede a market crash. When stocks like this get pumped. And
How?
I haven't invested, but I do think that, people can do what they want with their money. And I'm really not on board with what Robinhood is doing.
And it's not just Robinhood, to be
yeah.
clear. Like Robinhood is the one that most Redditors are using
Well-
to invest in GameStop, so it got a lot of flack.
But didn't you see?
a lot of brokerages closed their doors to trading
Yeah,
GameStop?
but Robinhood even went as far to sell people's positions.
Well, that was only people that bought it on margin.
So it's like a
Oh.
margin call, which is actually
But still, it's like
Already
if they were approved for that margin, and it fits all of the margin requirements.
right. If it actually wasn't expected of
Yeah.
a margin call, and they said, we feel like it, we're gonna
Yeah.
pull that.
Hold it, yeah.
But the silver lining here also, we finally found the issue that
yeah.
bridges the gap between the left and the right. Fox
Yeah,
News
yeah.
and MSNBC were
Taking
saying the
down Wall
exact
Street.
same thing. AOC was agreeing with
Yeah.
Trump and Trump with AOC. They just didn't like the.
I don't know if Trump commented.
No,
on it,
Trump did.
but,
Yeah,
He
it was
did.
Ted Cruz.
Oh, did
Wait,
he?
Trump has a Twitter again?
Well, no, but from something that I saw, I can't remember what.
What does he use? I haven't
really
heard.
Well,
like
he
of-
probably
called in
uses his
to
voice
Fox
and,
Events.
you know,
And a
like he's
telephone?
still a human that has a mouth.
I thought.
I don't know about that. I think
I'm-
you
I heard when you become
forfeit your mouth
president, you turn
rights.
into a lizard.
No, you
No,
turn
you
into
already
slime.
are a lizard. That's the only way you get that high in government.
Man, this episode this week is going to be very in line with how the market moved this week.
Yeah. I
Well,
like
that's
how we
kind of
didn't
back then.
actually explain what's going on, because I'm sure everyone
Oh.
already knows.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, like, I know and Joey knows, but like I'm sure there are
I-
some people who don't know. So for those people, we should explain it.
yeah, I don't know, so I'll explain it really quick, just in layman's terms. Basically, Melvin Capital and other short sellers shorted GameStop at over 100%, which is already questionable whether that should be legal or not. Because when you short a stock, you're basically driving the price lower and then hoping that it goes even lower than that, so you can make some money. And then not Robin Hood, Reddit was like, hey, we don't like that. But preceding that, there was one guy on Reddit who like actually made a good value case for GameStop, and he invested heavily. Um,
Well,
Wait,
and that
Ben.
guy I think deserves a little extra emphasis because he was kind of the leader of this movement going through, and a lot of the news reports I've seen are like, "Oh, Reddit is full of gamers, so they like
Gamers, yeah.
GameStop, and that's why they bought it." Which he
Stupid
doesn't tell the
boomers.
stock.
Oh my god.
but
Continue.
um, yeah, but basically, if you drive the price of the stock up, and then the short sellers lose money when they have to close their positions. But they don't, there's no time, like unlike options where there's an expiry date, there's no expiry
Expiring
for
date, yeah.
selling short. So but there is interest. And I think
There's
the
interest in the stock. Like people have shown they're interested in GameStop.
not that way. There's there I don't know if I would assume it's yearly, but I'm pretty sure the interest is 86% last time I checked for shorting GameStop.
At least, yeah.
So, I mean, they have to pay that money
Right.
the longer they hold
Mhm.
it.
'Cause they borrowed shares to sell them, and they're paying back to the people they borrowed
Mhm.
from. So, running out the clock hurts the short
Yeah.
sellers.
My dad. So, me and my brother and my dad all have a stock group chat. And other boy things. We talk about things like generally that it's like you talk about with the
Chainsaws,
boys.
drywall.
Yeah, chainsaws, drywall, pork,
Laying pipe.
laying pipe. And I'll throw some stuff about stocks in there. And so this week, whoa, are you guys seeing what's happening with GameStop? And my dad was like, yes, send me the link to this Reddit so I can see what the conversation is looking like. So I sent him the link to Wall Street Bets, and about 10 minutes later he texted back in our boys group chat, and he told us that he had read through the main post summarizing everything, and he was like, yeah, these Redditors are totally right. We need to stick it to Wall Street. They've been doing this for years.
Good.
And then 2 days later, my dad texted in the group chat again and was talking about how he made a Reddit account and started correcting people about their stock knowledge in the comments.
Oh my gosh.
It's not financial advice, but he's helping out. He's helping fight the good fight.
Good.
He's just
And-
handing out knowledge.
Yeah, he's just handing out knowledge, dishing it out like it's a luncheon during the Great Depression at a soup kitchen.
Very nice.
And I just thought that was really funny and
It's-
really
It's
really
bringing-
kosher.
It's bringing Oh yeah, it's bringing everyone together.
Yeah, it just
Against
goes
Wall
to
Street.
show what a
Boomers
big
and
movement
boomers.
this is, and it's not over yet, which we didn't specify, but it isn't. It's
Yeah,
they're continuing
because-
to hold
Mhm.
out.
they held the line at like 350 or whatever.
Mhm.
It's above 300 still,
Yeah.
which is wild. And the thing is, if they can keep holding for long enough, it will drive the short sellers out. And then if they all sell, I would assume they'd want to exit slowly. but I don't know if they can, like, with it making financial sense.
Who, the
But
Redditors?
no, the short sellers.
Oh, right.
Because if they all exit like around the same time, it'll cause it to shoot up because they all have to buy the stock to exit. But I was talking to Ben about this earlier. We know the actual price of this the actual value is around like $10 to $20 a share. So
Fair.
it's got that price delta. So there is whatever it is right now, whatever the peak is, down to that price, money to be made if you wanted to short the stock. So like, why can't they just buy it? Why can't they just sell short right near the top or on the way up, and then they'd make money on the way down still?
Because that's
Because
the
then
fight
they're
that they're
still
trying
holding-
to fight against.
Right, then there's
I
still going
know.
to be this massive short float, and so Reddit will be saying, hey, it's not over, keep holding,
I know, but it's
bleed
like
them out.
yeah, it's just a waiting game. Who's gonna win?
Yeah,
Exactly, and the
It's like the Cold War,
advantage that,
but over
that these big
GameStop.
money
Yeah, it's like
firms,
the Cold War.
they're hedge funds have the
Avengers.
advantage of there's few of them. They can
Avengers.
coordinate easier.
Yeah,
It's like
Whereas
Avengers
Reddit,
Cold War.
you're
Yeah.
hoping that they all were, as a community of millions, hoping that they all continue to hold the
Yeah.
line. But that's difficult when things like Robinhood stop you from buying.
did you see
Well,
yeah.
that they
Like a movie in the first
bought
place.
billboards across the country?
Yes.
Who did?
I love all the
People on
stuff
Wall
coming
Street
out this
Bets.
weekend.
There's billboards out there that
Yeah.
are like "Keep holding, boys, GME," and then have the
Oh.
emojis.
Yeah, this weekend things are coming
Here,
out
let me
that's
pull
like
it up.
supporting the fight that will resume Monday.
There were it was like over 16 lawsuits filed against Robinhood.
Oh my gosh. I saw
Federally.
some Congress person put out like
That's Jay Powell. We're looking at the Wall Street Bets subreddit right now. and
Here,
oh my gosh.
The billboard in Oklahoma City.
yeah, it's
We're
this
not
one.
leaving. Yes.
Diamond hands.
Diamond hands.
It's-
Oh, that's beautiful.
Paper hands though. Tim's
Oh, don't rat me out like this.
Tim sold on Wednesday.
It's
Yeah.
okay. I had paper hands too. I bought and sold within the span of 10 minutes.
Yeah, but you made a lot of money off. I only I held one share for a little while, but then I needed to focus on work because my productivity was failing, so I had to sell.
Yeah, it's tough. But what I really love is some of the wholesome content that's coming out. A lot of people are like, "Oh my gosh, I just made a couple $1,000s. This is actually life-changing for me." Or you see people making millions, and then one post was, "I went to GameStop, bought a bunch of Nintendo
I
Switches,
saw that.
and
Yeah.
donated them to the Children's Hospital."
Yeah.
It's
Children's
like,
Hospital.
And then he made the news, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
he made the local news, and so it's great. It's like happiness is being spread at the expense of billionaires. What
Well, I
better
would think-
scenario could you ask for?
I went to GameStop the other day and they wouldn't let me buy the stock there. So I don't know how these people are getting the stock, but I mean clearly that whatever they're doing is working.
Yeah, they're onto
God,
something
what if-
there, Greg.
What if they sold GameStop stock in the store
They do. Well, I don't know.
to get,
Clearly they
Just
don't.
not to Greg.
Just not to Greg.
to get around the brokerages that won't let you buy it?
Right, yeah.
I'm curious how long this fight will go on for, though. Do you think it'll last the whole next week?
Well, that's the thing, because it was supposed to end Friday, but then
Well,
these...
That's
These-
because some people thought that there was a prevailing mindset that there was an expiry for the shorts on Friday, which doesn't make
Well, there
sense.
were
situation-
like puts.
This whole
Yeah.
situation bears striking resemblance to like doomsday cults, where it's like it's gonna happen on this day,
Yeah.
and then when it doesn't happen on that day, it's like no,
It'll be next
we knew
week.
it wasn't gonna happen that day, and half the people will bail, and then the other half will double down harder.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, you need everyone to hold the line. If half of them bail, that's game
Yeah.
over.
So
Well,
the reason
I
why they
don't-
held until Friday, because a lot of the shorts are in the form of puts, which have Friday expiration dates, and there's something called an infinity squeeze. Have you ever heard of that?
No,
Yeah,
but I
I
want
have.
to.
Okay, so
have.
look into it because I don't have all the details right, but the last example of it happening was right before the '08 crash with
Was
Volkswagen.
Yeah.
Yeah, where all the puts expired that Friday,
The price
but
would
it
go
was
to-
already getting squeezed. So there was essentially like a rotation
Double?
of the shares, and it was just people had to sell them, and it like kept driving the price up infinitely until the people that own the shares were like, okay, I'll sell now. So it went from like $200 to $1,000 in one
Yeah,
day.
I
Volkswagen
saw
was
that.
briefly the most valuable company in the world.
And it's because of that infinity squeeze where the shares just rotated through and needed to be sold at whatever
Yeah.
price. So it just
And
kept.
you're forced to.
Yep.
Let me see. You gotta hold it close.
And that's what the Redditors are waiting for.
And it's just like,
Lego.
actually, no, this isn't very much like it at all. But it's like when Pepsi was like the fifth largest navy in the world at one point.
Oh, yeah. That's a good fact.
That's a fun fact.
Yeah. So
That's a
we'll
good
see.
fact.
If I mean, like, I'm guessing it'll be like at an end of a week when they decide it's like, okay,
Yeah,
let's
now
move
we
on.
get out. Yeah, because
Well-
when you get that double action of a short squeeze and it's not a gamma squeeze when it's like,
The gamma squeeze is when every single call is in the money.
yeah,
And so it's similar to what Ben described, where these options expire and shares have to be bought.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, do we have any GameStop news?
I have one thing real quick.
Okay.
Bring it up.
NAK.
Yeah.
Knack.
Knack 2, baby.
So NAK
it
had
changed the ticker?
had a good week.
It did.
Part of the reason is this. I think it was like Thursday. They submitted their official request for appeal for the Army Corps' decision.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Army Corps now has 30 days to respond to that and say whether or not their appeal is valid.
So, if the appeal gets rejected, this stock's basically going to zero, Ben.
Probably. They still own the land. They just,
Yeah.
if they get rejected, they're back to the drawing board and they're back where they're at when they like initially bought this land, where they need to redo the entire plan.
This Knack is a textbook asset play.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one way to put it.
I was just reading about those with our boy P. Lynch.
Mm.
You find a company that has assets that aren't known about by the most investors.
Yeah. Like they got all this land. They already did exploratory studies. They know exactly how much gold and copper and whatever. There's a third mineral that I can never remember.
Oh, oxygen.
And it's like
Yeah,
they'd
that one.
be pulling, it was like $50 billion of minerals out every single year with this original plan that they
What?
submitted. But they just need
Wait, why
approval.
did it get rejected the first time?
So it's in this really critical watershed where there's a
Oh.
$1 billion salmon industry. So
Oh.
if the
I do like
yeah, the
salmon.
concern was if they went through and did the mining as planned, it would degrade the quality of the watershed, which would impact the salmon industry.
If you ask me, that all sounds pretty fishy.
Yes, Greg. So yeah, I mean it makes
I-
sense, and I don't
Yeah,
don't want
get it.
like to ruin the environment and stuff, but
I mean, if they're able to pull out that much in minerals, then you'd think that they'd be able to spend some money on mitigation factors.
exactly, and that was the part of the plan that got rejected was the mitigation plan. So everything else was approved and said to not have measurable effects on the salmon industry. It was the mitigation plan that didn't do enough.
So basically, it's like when you reject people's watershed plans at your job, Ben.
People don't make plans for watersheds.
Wait, say that
Okay,
again?
what-
Watersheds are hard to police.
It's when you reject people's plans at your job.
Oh yeah.
That's Ben's job, is to reject people's plans.
Yeah, he
case
only
you
makes
didn't know.
people upset. That's all he does.
That's what I want to do.
Okay, that's 20 minutes. My mom says I need to go.
Oh shoot, we didn't
Actually, it
make
is
it under
Monday.
20 minutes this
Oh,
week. We didn't have the hard
Ben,
cutoff.
end
Oh
it, quick.
no!
Okay, sleep good.